Proposed budget hearing meeting tonight for the city council members. So those wishing to speak afterwards, we're going to go through this, and I'll recognize some of you after this, okay? So with that, right now, it's going to open up. Ember, if you'll take the microphone for the council members, please, if you don't mind.
Good evening. I was going to just give you all an overview. I'm pleased to bring you a balanced budget proposal for the year 2026. Some of the highlights that I wanted to point out, I'm going to start in the general fund. If you'll notice, our revenues and expenditures are up approximately 1.7 million or 2% over the prior year. Last year, we used some carry forward for a one-time expenditure, so I've extracted that number to show that we're actually up about 1.7 million. Revenues, specifically, our sales tax makes up about 58% of the general fund revenues. That budget is remaining flat for 2026 as we're tracking those expenditures right now. That's where I have that forecasted out for 2026, and I have discussed this with other cities around the state. We've had conversations on sales tax. Our property tax, which is our second largest revenue of the general fund, is up 13%. It increased about 12% over the prior year. So when we're going through this budget process, we haven't gotten our largest property tax collection. That usually comes in November, so we should get that at any time. So last year's number was a little lower than what we budgeted because of the timing. Skipping to the expenditures, there's a lot of factors that go into the budget process, and it takes us a couple of months to get this finalized document to you all. So I wanted to point out some of the larger items that are going into the expenditures. This is our year to negotiate the contract with the fire union. We did get word last Friday that they voted and accepted the changes. And I'll have that resolution at the next meeting, but in that is a 5% increase for firefighters in 2026. We're in the second year of our police contract that you all approved last year. That has 4% increases for police. I wanted to also point out that pension costs for police and fire go up every year. The state has a maximum that the contribution can go to. They actually raised it this year. So fire's going from 24% to 24.5% of their salaries. We contribute a pension. Police going from 23.79 to 24.5. Health insurance, I'm sure you all have probably heard that the city's health insurance is going up 20%. I've talked to some other agencies, some of our nonprofits, and everyone's seeing this pain, unfortunately. The thing that I wanted to point out about health insurance is in the past we've had two plans, a $500 deductible and a $1,200 deductible plan. When we met with Municipal Health and looked over the claims, the $500 deductible plan participants were the ones really costing us more. So we've made the decision to just go to one plan. $1,200 deductible is still very, very low. Lots of other municipalities and corporations, of course, have a lot higher deductible. Our employee-only coverage is going from $547.50 to $662.50 a month, and families going from $680 a month to $823. So the city covers the entire premium for the employee. In the past, we've covered 75% for family. We're going to 65%. Employees that have family coverage will see about a $59 increase per paycheck. We also, in this budget, have ongoing step and grade increases for non-uniform and have put a 2.5% cost of living increase in the budget for non-uniform. So salaries and benefits of the general fund make up about 79% of those expenditures. So that only leaves about 21% for everything else. Of that 79%, 77% of those salaries are public safety, police, fire, and emergency services. So you can see where a big bulk of the general fund goes. Street fund, revenues and expenditures increased about 1.5%, so stayed relatively close to the same. Parks Fund, revenues and expenditures increased overall approximately 4.5%, back to those raises. for non-uniform health insurance increase, and the use of one-time money of $300,000 from fund balance to fund their equipment needs. IT fund, they increased approximately 1.1 million or 20%. Now remember that they house all of the IT for the city, so if someone wants a new software or such, they go to IT. So their increase is mainly due to software contracts and maintenance of those software contracts. The sales tax fund and the 2023 sales tax fund, you have a detail in the back of your book of what's funded in those funds. So that's my brief overview, and I'll be happy to take any questions.
Anybody? All right, no questions from the council. Go ahead,
No,
Ms. Ross, go ahead.
I do. Amber, I know that when looking at the special appropriations, some of them that we don't see listed, they're listed under a separate, rather than an individual nonprofit or whatever. They're included in another. Can you just kind of go over the ones that are included in the others?
Sure.
It's kind of confusing.
Sure. So page 13 for the online document and the document that the council members have, because it is kind of confusing, we've started adding this. So for instance, what Councilmember Ross is talking about, we have an account called Arts and Cultural. Well, in the past, the Arkansas Museum of Fine Arts has been included there. We did not fund that organization in this budget. The Museum of Discovery has been included there. We did not fund that organization in this budget, and the Thea Foundation is included in that line, and we have put $10,000 worth of funding in that account. We have another account called Homeless Outreach, and in that account, we have River City Ministries has been funded $25,000, and Potluck Food Rescue has been funded $15,000. Every other account is pretty self-explanatory and only has one agency in it.
All right. I know we met for over an hour where we've got a lot of things there, but can you just kind of give us a breakdown of, I know when we look at this budget, it's 91 million or whatever, fire, police, sanitation, emergency services, the percentages, what little the city actually has to work with beyond that?
Yeah, beyond that, so beyond their salaries, we only have 21%. And beyond that, I didn't write that number down, but I think it's closer to like 14. It's a very low percentage.
Right.
And these special appropriations are included in that number.
Okay, and something else that's new this year is school resource officers.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
We met with the school, and we talked about school resource officers. We've been very fortunate here in North Little Rock that we've been able to send resource officers over to the school, but we've worked out an arrangement that the school will pay us 25% in this first year and 50% in the next year. At the time that I did this budget, that number was about $175,000. It's changed just a little bit because I had some calculations off to $140,000. So we were able to add that, and that will be going forward.
And then the youth program, what is included in the youth program?
The mayor's youth council uses that fund to buy their expenditures and things they need for their programs. It looks like it was cut quite a bit, but we looked at what they've been actually spending, and we were able to take some of that out without the detriment of that program.
And I guess this is more just a comment too on some of the things. I know we've added some things that we've had to cut a lot, but we've also added some really great things too. I know under the electric department's budget, there's, is it 500, 600,000 for interstate lighting. I get this all the time. When you hit North Little Rock on the interstate, it's dark. Park Hill, it's dark. You can't even see. And I know this
500.
The 500,000. This is just a first step because it's going to probably take millions to
Ryan,
do this.
Come up
And
forward, please.
I just want to say I'm happy to see this start.
I know, and it is dark. Ryan, did you hear the question?
Yeah, we talked to
So if you don't mind, just comment about the lighting that's on the interstate.
Yeah, so as Councilman Ross is mentioning, interstate lights have been off for 13, 15 years, something like that. We've made efforts with the infrastructure that's out there right now to try to get the lights turned back on. We make some progress in 24 hours, they seem to go out again. We think that there's a lot of conduit missing, a lot of wire missing. And so, as she said, the $500,000 we have in there is just a budgetary number to get us started. It's going to take us years probably to get that back up and running, and multi-millions probably. So just trying to get somewhere and get a progress started.
Right.
Isn't the
So
highway
it's-
department
it's a
kind
start.
of, they don't want to take any ownership of that? I mean, they
So
worked before they did the,
The way DOT works is they'll start the project for you, but they hand it over as soon as it's done. They say it is responsibility of the city to maintain and keep up to date after they finish their project.
yeah, but if they went in there and tore stuff up, I mean, I don't know. I mean, a wire's a wire, and a conduit's a conduit, and a light's a light. And, yeah, we're
I got nothing
thankful that we
coming.
have wider lanes, but you think, okay, I mean, I don't know, it's just weird, that's all. Yeah.
Agreed?
Mr. Hamilton?
I had to do a number of TV interviews, news stories about this when I was in the mayor's office. It's, as he said, it's been going on for about 15 years now. They've been off, and the highway department will not fund any lighting through the cities. They'll put them up as part of a contract if the city puts up the money, but they won't as part of a construction project, but they don't maintain it. Their position is that the signs and the traffic lanes, those are adequate for safety. That is their position.
When they're up and working, whose responsibility for it is to change them out?
You've got the
The
floor.
utility, the city.
Utility company?
No,
Yeah.
he needs to learn.
Okay.
Ms. Hart?
Amber, my only, as it relates to page 13, where my heartburn is, or where I have concerns is, there's a large portion of folks in my ward who benefit from some of the programs that we're cutting significantly. So we're cutting River City Ministries, and we're cutting Boys and Girls Club. The food bank we're cutting, and it seems like it's at a time where we recognize that there's a significant issue with those that are underserved. And so I'm trying to think, is there any way, because I see us keeping the things that are directly connected to leisure and fun and entertainment, but reducing the things that might significantly be helpful to, members of our population that are suffering from food insecurity, that are suffering from after-school care and things like that. So is there any place or opportunity where places like River City Ministries, even the food bank, because I know and we talked about that.
Yeah, so there was 19, Dan Scott's office coordinates with all the pantries. So we give the money directly to the food bank, but we tell them which pantries to allocate the funds to. Dan let us know before the budget process that there were 19 pantries. So the $38,000 is equated to $2,000 per pantry. And unfortunately, I understand what you're saying. We just had to bring you a balanced budget, and we went through all the departments and cut funds from every department, and we had to cut in this area as well to bring a balanced budget.
Dan, are you here? Dan, you want to come forward just for a second, please? You understood the question, Dan? Did you understand the question?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So the question is, I guess Ms. Hart was asking, is there anything we can do for some things in her ward, such as the food pantry? So again, if you don't mind.
It looks to me like assistance to food program has actually gone up from last year. It was 25,000 last year, if I'm correct, and it's gone up to 38,000. We have 19 food pantries in North Little Rock that are members of the Arkansas Food Bank. The easiest way to do it, split it evenly, except for Step Ministries. Step Ministries does a tutoring program near what used to be Eastgate, and now I don't know what the name is. And they do snacks after tutoring. And so we take that extra money and we move it to the Dark Hollow Food Pantry because they serve the same neighborhood.
Gotcha.
And then Potluck is getting money through the Unsheltered Outreach, which also goes to feed people, which is food pantries they actually, Potluck does a number of things. They do food rescue. They take food from restaurants that would be thrown away, take it to shelters. They also do food pantries and they do food deliveries. They were a big help during the tornado. They were making food deliveries to the affected area on a daily basis.
So to answer your question, it sounds like it's actually gone up a little bit instead of down.
No. No.
It did go up from 2025. Dan is correct, but it went down from what they requested, and it went down from 24. So in 24, we gave the food bank 45,000, and last year 25. Before 24, we had extra money, ARPA money and COVID money, where these organizations got boosted up a lot for one time. 24, they were still kind of, I guess it wasn't clear that those boost up were one time. So we did our best to keep 24 as close as we could. And in 25, we did lower some of them. And this year, due to our sales tax forecast being relatively flat, like I said, we've cut from all areas of the city.
Mr. Hamilton?
So the page 13 is simply, or I'm assuming it's like a helpful guide?
Yes.
It's not part of the allocation?
Well, it is the one that says, the column that says 2026 proposed. The only error I made on that is I left Sesquentes off, and they have 20,000 allocated. And so the account number correlates over to the previous pages of where their funding is in the budget. And you all always like to see, well, how much did they request? And we've always kind of talked about the last couple of months or years. So that is helpful to have here for our conversation.
So what's the difference in, like I said, the items that are in particular leisure or entertainment? Those items seem to stay the same. What's the difference between like where we're allocating our money for things that are directly connected to entertainment and leisure and I guess having fun in North Little Rock versus providing a necessary resource?
I've
Don't
got
do
to go
that.
this way for just a second. As soon as you answer Mr. Harrison, then I'll come back to you, okay?
Well, you know, these applications, don't know that I can actually answer your question. I just balance the budget.
Okay.
Argenta Downtown Council, I can tell you, is probably the only one in Powell that got what they requested. The way I look at Argenta Downtown Council, they are doing maintenance and lawn care from right out here at the corner of City Hall all the way down to Pershing. They buy the flowers, they hire the labor to plant the flowers, all the beautification. So the way I refer to it is that's tangible. I go out and I physically see their labor. If they weren't doing that for us as a city, we'd be having parks or hiring a contractor. PAL is ran in-house. That's our police athletic league. Shelby Hunter in the police department runs that. The bills come in to us. That's basically us.
Dan, you said it.
Thank you, Mr. Scott.
The unsheltered, we had formerly given to the city of Little Rock for the Jericho Way Center. When we took that out of the budget, we had started contributing some money to River City. So that's only started in the last 6 years. As long as I've been here, I just can't remember what year we started. And last year's when Potluck came up, because they also help our homeless liaison a lot with a lot of things she does or when she calls them. So I know I'm not really answering your question, but at the end of the day, in my mind, these are numbers, and I'm just balancing the budget.
Mr. Harris, and I'll come back to you, Nathan, okay?
Yeah, a question regarding Providence Park. So they requested 50, and I'm wondering, back to your other thing about the homeless, I mean, should we not, are we kind of withdrawing that because they're really not up and ready, or do we not want to go ahead and put $10,000 in the budget just to, could they not help us with our homeless issue in North Little Rock?
That is definitely up to you all here on the council. If we funded every request we got, where would we, stop it at? So again, if you all want this amended, you all can make that decision.
Can I
Go
go back?
ahead, and I'll come, Ms. Robinson.
Okay.
Ms. Robinson?
Is Providence Park open?
No.
No.
No,
So
ma'am.
it's not open.
Not that I'm aware of.
I toured it, excuse me.
Well, if it's not open,
There you go.
It's not open in 2025.
It won't be open till 2027.
I suggest that we wait until they're open and operating.
So Ms. Robinson, myself, Ms. Hart, I think Mr. Fowler and Mr. Harris attended it last week. They're in the first phases of beginning to open. I understand some of the first phase might be open in 2026. Is that what y'all heard,
Yeah.
Nicole?
You
Ms.
saying
Hart?
might.
Might, that's what they're saying. I think that's where we were.
Based on the conversations that they told us, that they will begin, they're accepting applications at this point. They've already begun coordinating with interested parties that know where people who might benefit from the Providence Park program is. And they'll start actually receiving folks in 2026. They're just going to receive it by area that they get housed.
That's
So
what it said,
that
late
first building.
2026. Yes, you're right. Exactly.
But yeah, but I think it's, go ahead. I thought it was earlier.
We were told
Quarter
Q1
one-
2026.
26, yeah, okay.
Somewhere between 10 to 15 neighbors, which would be residents.
Okay, so
So that's the
I'm not crazy.
current capacity plan, first quarter of next year.
Mr. Harris?
And the only reason I brought it up is just to show some support of this, whatever it is. I don't know. I wasn't saying 50, I was saying 10,000. I don't know.
Let me do this. Ms. Robinson, I'll come to you, Mr. Fowler, okay, and then back to Ms. Hart. Is that okay?
If we have an additional $10,000 to give, I would rather see the $10,000 being given to River City Ministries.
I was going to say.
Because River City Ministries has a track record, they have a history of operating and taking care. They're already operating. Providence Park, they're going to open up in 2026. We say 2026, but they may not open in 2026. But River City Ministries is already up, operating, and has a track record. And that's what I'm looking at. So if we got $10,000, we need to bump River City Ministries up $10,000.
Mr. Fowler?
And that's a good point,
Wait a
if you
minute, let me
don't.
go to Mr. Fowler. if
No,
you
it's
don't mind.
fine.
Okay, go ahead, Amber, and then I'll come to you, Ms. Hart.
As Ms. Robinson said, when we send out this application, applicants have to give us their audits, a background, a summary about their company. So we do ask for a lot of detailed information as such to prove their track record. So our money's not just going somewhere and then gone.
Ms. Hart? Mr. Fowler, go
Yes,
ahead.
sir. I think it's important to note that Argena's, or the ADC's footprint is increasing in 2026 directionally to cover the event center, and also as the city, as Argena attempts to expand over Main Street into the new central fire station. And it was my understanding when you and I discussed this was that the increase was based on the fact that their responsibilities would increase
Right,
within that year.
right.
Anybody else? Ms. Hart?
I was saying that I agree with Ms. Robinson, Councilwoman Robinson, about River City Ministries, but I made that comment not only to ask, but also to make the other council members aware where my heartburn was and how I think we need to adjust how we're looking at this. Because from the outside looking in to, an average citizen, it looks like we're increasing or we're giving more to leisure and entertainment than we are to like sustainable programs that are like offering a service to our neediest population
Ms.
as
Ross.
city residents.
Ms. Ross.
No, I've got several things, but to address that, when you say it's going to leisure and entertainment, that leisure and entertainment is what is bringing in tax dollars to fund all of the other things that we work with in our budget, because the sales tax is our largest revenue. And there may be some places where we can cut, but the main part of it, that's why that's there. And I do have a question too on the Argenta Downtown Council. Do they still have the ambassador program that I don't see anybody out other than Spriggs that works for the
Chris
city
Kent, I
now?
don't see Chris Kent. Chris?
Yeah, because that was one of the reasons, one year, because we
Report, please,
upped
sir.
it for additional ambassador, and now we have no ambassadors.
Do you understand the question?
Yeah, I understand the question. We have not replaced any ambassadors out there to work with Spriggs at this time, but we still employ 6 full-time people and 2 or 3 part-time people as well to handle the services that we provide.
Anybody else?
That's all I need to know. They have.
Ross, or Ms. Robinson, Mr. Baxter, let's go to you. I'm sorry, Mr. Baxter.
While you're up here, so in '25, your area expanded, right? Did you say Grace over, more or less?
Right.
As it relates to, I don't know, travel north, let's say. So, so you went all the way up over the bridge, past the bridge, up to Pershing?
18th.
In what part of the year did you start taking care of that area as well?
Oh, we started that in 2022, I believe, when we crossed the bridge the first time. Mayor, is that correct?
That was the 13th.
So we've been over there for a while on that side, and it continues to get busier, of course, because we've had a lot of development on that side of the river.
So to add on to that, as Chris is saying, we added 13th to 18th a couple of years ago. Then in 2025, when they lost the ambassador, when they were no longer filling that, we added on from 18th to Pershing. And that's why their contract didn't change, because they absorbed the fee they had for that ambassador to go on down to Pershing in front of city services, right?
Right, that's correct. And, like I said, we've had significant movement in property sales and development off of 13th Street near the new fire station as well. So you're going to see some stuff coming that way.
Ms. Ross.
So the banners on Pershing is the only thing that's been done, correct?
Well, on Pershing, yeah, the banners on
Banners.
Pershing have
And
been
then
done,
from
as far as
18
Pershing goes,
right.
but
And 18,
Main Street.
we do have some flowers. And so from 18th to Pershing, what have you done?
Not a ton right there.
not anything
It's
been done.
still a little, it's a dicey area for, just say for safety on the traffic through there of where we would put those planters and things like that. So we've kind of pushed up past the, right at Special Olympics or a little bit past that, up to that edge.
The 20th?
I think it's 23rd, is that 23rd right
I
there?
think they're on 20th, something like that. So,
Ms. Hart.
okay.
Do we have anybody from River City Ministries or
We
Boys and?
do. I'm about to recognize some people here in just a second.
Okay, so I want to give them an opportunity to talk about their impact. And then if there's anybody from Boys and Girls Club Central Arkansas, I'd like to hear from them about their impact as well. Because I want us to consciously see faces and hear like the decisions that we're making and how they impact residents in North Little Rock. And thank you, Chris, for what you're
You're
doing.
welcome, thank
What
you.
my plan was to go ahead and try to get as much Alderman's questions first. And then I do have some names here. I was going to bring the microphone, give them their 3 minutes to talk, and let y'all ask some questions. But I'm at the point right now, I'd like to get my Alderman's questions answered. Ms. Ross.
Okay, on mine, and we're all in agreement on River City Ministry. We all know what they do, and I know they also, we're getting $12,000 CDBG money from the city for this year. But with everything that's gone on at the federal level, the city has not got that money to pass on to. So it's like a double hit to River City Ministry because of the federal funding. So I was also, and that's one of the things that I've got here to add, and so I'd like to just go ahead and make an amendment if it's possible, or do we want to do them all at one time?
And you don't have to make a
not
formal
tonight.
amendment.
The formal amendment?
Yeah,
Okay,
just
because I
this-
had down River City Ministry to add 20,000 to that.
Okay, you can do it, but not right now, okay?
Oh,
We'll do
okay.
it. Yeah, I want to get through this
Okay.
talking for us. So is there any more questions from the alderman about the budget? Mr. Hampson?
Thank you. So special appropriations, page 11 and 12, totals 5.2 million. If you take out what we give to Rock Region Metro for buses and the streetcar and then the jail, you're taking out 4.5 million. You're left with about $700,000. If my math's right, that's about 0.6 or 7% of our entire budget. Is that about right?
I trust your math.
So instead, I'd like to pull out a little bit and see a little bit of a bigger picture. We have an ordinance that requires the city to hold in reserve a certain amount that we are not allowed to touch without, or to vote on, unless you come to us and say, you know, this is the emergency, it's going to tap into our emergency. So that 25% of our reserves, of our operating and maintenance from the year before, what are we projecting that reserve amount to be in 2026?
Approximately 22.3 million.
22.3 million? And on top of, so that is restricted, correct?
Right.
How much are we projected to have in our unrestricted, unallocated reserve? What's the budget for 2026?
So we ended the year with fund balance of 49 million, ended 25. I'm glad I.
49 million?
Yeah, I'm glad I prepared this. I thought someone would probably ask. We have to take into account anything, any carry forward used. So we've used 551,000 in carry forward in the general fund. Then we have our reserve requirement. We're left with about 26 million.
26 million in unrestricted, unallocated? Okay. Thank you. On page 23, we have a health department. Could you explain to me what those, is this in relation to the Rose City Health Department or Health Clinic, or is this in relation to the building by the community center, and is that still operating?
Yes, so this is the health department down by the community center. They are partially, or the majority is state funding. As long as I have been here, we have always allocated this amount of about 100,000 to them. It changed a little bit this year just because the communication line came down. They enter these bills directly into our system. How they choose what the state pays and what we pay, I'm unsure of, but yes, that is
So-
for them. That
Something I'd like to, I don't even know, Mr. Mayor, I guess I would ask this of you, since I don't have, I'm wondering how many other cities in in the state of Arkansas pay towards a state health department or to a health clinic in their city. It may be that if we take this away, that we don't even have a health department anymore. So, I mean, I'm not advocating one way or the other right now. It's just that I did some research, and I'm not aware of any other city that pays for a state health department or a health clinic in their city. On page 64 in the Parks Department, the recycle bikes for kids,
That's a grant match. We
Okay.
got a grant
Very
for
good.
32,000, and that's the match of 8,000 to bring the total to 40,000.
that sounds wonderful.
award,
Do we
yeah.
get that each year? Is that an
We have-
automatic?
No, we have to apply for it.
ahead,
It's TAP funds.
Okay.
But we have been fortunate enough to get it in the
It
past.
started back in about 16, 17, but maybe even longer, but yeah, we've been doing it for quite a while.
Sounds great. what makes something, like PAL is in-house. It's the Police Athletic Youth, or Police Athletic League. Why is it in special appropriations and not in the police department budget? Recycle Bikes for Kids is in there, is in parks, and I think that's appropriate.
Yeah, that, I can't really answer that other than, I believe at some point there was a nonprofit to handle the appropriations, and we had an ordinance that, or a resolution that if we gave money to nonprofits, we had to go through this process of doing the contract. So, I mean, I really can't answer that, it's before my time. But I agree.
Right, let's
understand.
figure it out. When time we come back, we'll have it for you.
Okay.
But they've been, the PAL's been in our jurisdiction. That's in Rose City. We've been funding that now, I know, for 7 or 8 years I know of.
I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, it is.
I'm trying to clean up the
Amy,
special appropriations.
I know, I'm just, Amy.
So that, my overall idea is that we spend 99% of our time talking about 0.06% of the budget on this special appropriations page. And we miss, I mean, we don't know why PAL is even in there, and part of that number,
Well,
when it could be in police,
Councilman, I
or,
think Ms. Fields.
I'm wondering why.
PAL is, there still is an active nonprofit and a board associated with PAL. The PAL programs are partially funded by the nonprofit and partially funded by the city. So there is a board,
they can't
there's
be
a
in any
nonprofit.
they
Now,
can't
now,
be-
as far as accounting and where things go in a budget, I'm not going to speak to that. But what I am going to speak to is that it's not just a city program. It also has nonprofit funding and a board that kind of directs the programs. So I just wanted to
So we
clarify
partner with that nonprofit?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
The,
let's put it over there.
what happened to the pension, the judge's pension on
A
this
state
page?
law was, the part, are you in special appropriations?
page 11.
Oh, okay. That is based on an actuarial calculation, and it's been over budgeted. And so it's just trying to get it in line with what we expect. Now, the judge's salary, which we've always paid 50% of, which are in the 2 district courts, state law was passed, and the state and county now assume all of that. So we were able to take those lines out, about 60,000 in each.
So is that why the first line item on page 11 is zeroed out? It was 135,000 last year, now it's zero?
Get to page 11. Nope, thank you, that's an oversight, and we should have money there.
No problem.
Would it be 135,000 again? Okay.
Probably close
So
to
everybody
that.
can mark in the budget book, it's 135,000 is overlooked, so thank you.
So arts and cultural education, actually, I just want to get off of this page. If we can go to administration, the only thing I had a question about was the 2 line items of postage and professional services spiked. I'm not assuming anything, I'm just wondering why postage and professional services went up. We are cutting things, so I think it's fair to ask why we're tripling, I think, from 2 years ago, postage.
So postage, we had a meter that had always been charged to the electric department when that was postage for the city. And so when we realized that, that's getting postage in the correct place.
Cool.
Instead of trying to go figure out and spend a lot of time saying this belongs to finance or police or whoever, we just put it all in admin and we charge that meter there now. It's the one we do in-house.
And just so people understand, I'm not trying to nickel and dime anything. That went from 45,000 budgeted last year to 90,000 this year, so it just caught my attention. I'm not talking about a roll of stamps, is all I wanted people to know, but the professional services.
That's an initiative with the county to look at Little Rock, North Little Rock together. I believe they've hired a consultant to help try to lower crime, so that's a contract for that.
So, I mean, it went from 49,000 budgeted to 175,000 proposed.
Yes, so the increase is adding this contract.
Okay.
And who's that with?
So we're spending 120, we've entered in, or our portion of this crime reduction
Well,
consultant, I
It'll
guess?
be a little over 100,000. I don't remember the exact number off the top of my head, but the county sent us some information over on that.
Told you,
Over
yeah.
$100,000. And, okay, I wonder if we help some of the homeless. What is the distinction between City Beautiful and Keep North Little Rock Beautiful?
I'll defer to Dan
Dan's
Scott.
coming up here. Dan, please.
Because unfortunately, we're back on page 13, or 11, I think.
Yep.
And I noticed we put together arts and cultural education, all things together, but we've got different line items for different History Commission stuff, and we also have a line item for City Beautiful, and then a line item for Keep North Little Rock Beautiful.
If it were up to me, we would have one line called special appropriations, and you wouldn't be able to see all of these. So this is what I inherited. But I agree, I'd love to change it, and it would be
Well-
more in line with others.
Dan, did you hear the question, please?
Yes, sir. City Beautiful Commission is a city commission that was formed a long, long time ago. And it's made up of commission members. The application, we staff the City Beautiful Commission and Neighborhood Services. Applications are turned in, and it goes to the commission, and they vote on applications to help beautify the neighborhoods.
Okay?
Keep North Little Rock Beautiful is a nonprofit, a separate group that's associated with Keep Arkansas Beautiful. And so they do the Great River Cleanup, and they also do the North Little Rock Citywide Cleanup. They do those two events every year. City Beautiful Commission does not do cleanup stuff. Now, our department gives stuff away for people that pick up litter, but it's different.
Mr. Hamilton, can I yield the floor to you for just a sec?
Please?
Ms. Robinson?
The City Beautiful Commission. I know that they have grants. I think that's the one
Yes.
that distribute grants. Those grants they go particularly to communities.
Yes.
And, okay, well,
They do everything from neighborhood signs to beautification projects, entrances to neighborhoods, stuff like that.
okay, I just want to make sure that the monies that they have go to communities, go to neighborhoods, and not necessarily to organizations.
Well, it depends on what they're doing. One of the programs they started last year was painting electrical and traffic boxes around the city. They partnered with the Argenta Downtown Council and the Argenta Arts Council because they already had the painters and they already knew what they were doing. And so they partnered with Argenta Downtown Council to get boxes painted that are not in Argenta, that are over the other three wards and other places in Ward 2 to get painted. Another grant that they did was they gave money to the Park Hill Business and Merchants Owners Association to help them paint concrete abutments that were left or that are up there now because of the Jump Start program. So you've probably seen that if you've noticed those. They've done quite a bit in Ward 2 on the east end as far as beautifying entrances to neighborhoods. But anybody that wants to beautify, neighborhood group that wants to beautify public property, is welcome to turn in an application.
Yeah, we need to talk about those boxes too.
With the pleasure of the council, I know you may still have some questions. There's a couple of people that Ms. Hart brought to that has some questions. I'm going to ask, I got Letha Todd, Paul Wilkerson. If you come up, give me 3 minutes, please, to ask some questions. I hate to limit that, but we're at a point where I need to break this up. Please, and identify yourself again.
My name is Letha Todd. I'm with Rutherford City
Go
Ministries.
ahead. Your questions on the topic of the budget.
Just a little concerned. We're one of the, we are the only organization in the city that provides showers, medical, dental, and vision as far as our marginalized, unsheltered population. So with the services that we provide, we really want to see, we're asking the council to reconsider and to increase our dollars back to where they are, as we are the only ones that are providing those services. So we're asking you to reconsider, to think about what we're providing to this population. And
You represent River City, correct?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for her? Thank you, ma'am, I appreciate it. And Letha and Paul, y'all are saying the same question, right, Paul? Okay, I want to be sure. Thank you, ma'am.
Ms. Todd.
Uh-huh. Boys and Girls Club, it was on my list here, too. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, I'm Cindy DeRamus and the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club.
Question you have for us?
I've got a question for you.
All right, go ahead,
Just
Mr. Hamilton.
how do you feel about your budget being cut from, I think it's 60,000 to 10? What was that?
60,000 to
20.
60,000 to 20? So the Boys and Girls Club, we were funding at 60,000. And I think, I can't remember for the past few years, but now it's down to 20,000. How do you feel about that?
We're grateful for everything that you all do and what we can get. It will be a struggle. It is, you all talked about the funds that were available back during the COVID times. There was a lot of funds available. Those funds are not available anymore. It will hurt. We will do everything we can not to turn children away. We did have to go up some on our membership, but we find ways for, if a child cannot afford a membership, we want to make sure that they still have access to the program. If there's any way to increase it at all, we would greatly appreciate that. We have almost 400 members, North Little Rock children between the ages of 6 to 18, and through our outreach programs, we do UPS driving courses and things that we do in the schools. We will serve another 300 to 400 young people from North Little Rock.
Thank you.
We have had a 21st Century Learning Center community grant. We'll have to apply for that again. And with that, we partner with the North Little Rock schools for the middle school ages. So yes, it will hurt. Yes, we're grateful for what you can do. And if there's any way to increase it, we would like for you to please consider that. We do touch a lot of lives. And I'm super excited, very excited about the plans to cross the bridge and to build that up. And we want to be able to take care of that. To do our part and keep up with that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So,
Okay,
thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. I've got to move this along. I said we maintain this till 5:50. At that time, this public hearing will recess, and then we'll break for 10 minutes and come back to the city council member. Am I missing anybody right now? Ms. Robinson?
Only thing I want to say is that I know that we get requests from some organizations that provides leisure and education as well. But we count on Downtown Council. They bring activities to downtown, North Little Rock, to Argenta, community theater, the arts education. So a lot of things go in downtown, and several of these places are bringing revenue to downtown. And so leisure, of course, we need, but that's what I want to say.
We've got approximately about 2 or 3 more minutes. Ms. Ross?
I just got one more comment too, as far as the Main Street Viaduct, putting money a start. I know that we could have started a long time ago, but there's always something else that's important. It's just like at your home. There's always something more important, but it's a start with the 600,000 going towards the Main Street Viaduct.
Only thing I want to say, again, if we see a need to increase, that's something that we'll get with you on, and then you'll bring the final request to us?
Yes, I intend to have an actual resolution on the next meeting. So at this point, we don't have to amend anything. I can just, I wrote down the note that the majority of you wanted to add to River City. So my goal is to bring the actual budget resolution, and once that's presented, we will have to do actual amendments on the floor.
Anybody else? Ms. Ross?
Okay, before we get into the back and forth that we had as far as when the nonprofits would receive their funding, will it be split up or will they receive a one-time? I just want to make sure that it's clear going into, so we don't have anything. like
Last year, we did this when the ordinance came back to the council. I think Ms. Robinson said we delay some of those. So I expect that at the next council meeting, if we can approve it, then you can delay, is what we did last time.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we know what we're doing going in.
Up to all of you.
I just want to say I sincerely support quarterly. That seems to be inappropriate. If people can plan for that, I agree it's best practices. I don't have a problem with that
It
at
comes to the council as a
all.
resolution, then y'all vote on it.
Usually we did it in February this year, so I would assume those contracts would come back.
It'll come in February or March.
It's
It will
10
just
till.
all depend.
It's
I
10
know
till
it.
6.
All right, guys, I've got to call this public hearing adjourned. We will recess for 10 minutes. At this time, the budget is still in discussion. There's nothing final, but you heard what was being said from the alderman, so we'll break. 6 o'clock, we're adjourned for the council meeting. Thank y'all very much.